Hello everyone, I am Dr. Manisha Zadhav, Director at Radiance Speciality Skin Clinics, Pune. And I am revealing to you the secrets to a radiant, healthy and flawless skin. We are discussing about the cosmetics that you need to use or add to your daily skin regime. Until now, we have discussed about several things such as cleansers, toners, moisturizers. And today, what are we going to talk about? So the topic for today is sunscreens. Now that the summer is nearby and soon it will be hot, the hot topic for today is sunscreen. So in today's video, we will learn about some secrets about how to select a sunscreen for your skin type and what are the myths related to sunscreen. Before that, let us understand what a sunscreen actually is. So normally people feel that sunscreen prevents or protects the skin from sun rays. Mind you, this is not the only thing that damages our skin. A sunscreen is designed to protect our skin from the damage caused by any kind of light. It may be invisible light or visible light. Now, what we feel is that only the sunlight causes damage to our skin, but it is not the entire sunlight or anything like that. It is the ultraviolet radiation that causes damage to our skin, and it may be through any source of light per se. Okay, so basically what we need to understand is the ultraviolet radiation from the source of light, which may be in the form of there are two types of ultraviolet radiations that are described, UVA and UVB. So these are the two types which cause damage to our skin. Out of this, UVA causes more damage to your skin because it enters or penetrates to the deepest level of your skin layer and it damages the cells over there, and so it causes skin burns and severe damage to your skin. It may be sometimes even irreparable. The UVB rays, however, they don't cause a major or severe damage, but they definitely penetrate the upper layers of the skin, and overexposure to UVB rays may cause premature aging, wrinkles and lentigens and freckles. Okay, so if you have those dark spots coming up all of a sudden after a few years, they are due to this overexposure to UVB rays which you have been avoiding or which you have been not considering for so long. So the damage effect of UVB rays is seen after overexposure. Now let us learn about some myths related to sunscreens. One by one I will be discussing these, and this will help you to get a clarity about what type of sunscreen or why should I use a sunscreen in my day-to-day regime. So one first myth that people have is that I don't go out into the sunlight, or I'm a homemaker and I'm most of the times in the house, so why do I need to use a sunscreen? Or it is a rainy season or it's winter season and the sunlight is not so harsh outside, then why do I need to use a sunscreen? Now, let us clarify about this myth. First of all, even if you don't go out into the sunlight still penetrates different kinds of surfaces. So it penetrates through the clouds, it can penetrate through water, it can penetrate through glass also. So through your windows, through your open doors, the sun rays still enter your house and they can over a period damage your skin. Even during the normal daylight, under the tube light, under even the screen, the mobile screens or the laptops that you are using, the radiation, constant radiation through it can also have an impact on your skin, right? In fact, in winter season or in the rainy season, since you don't have effect of the heat, but the sun is still there. Please remember that day in, day out, 24 hours, the sun is still out there. You don't feel the heat of it, but the light is still existing, and it penetrates all the more through water particles, through snow particles, through the clouds. In fact, the damage caused during rainy season, during the winter season, is more than the damage caused during summers. Hence, you can find pigmentation problems all the more, or your skin darkens all the more in winter than in summer. That's because of the dryness factor and because the sun penetrates all the more through the clouds and through the snow. So you have to keep this thing in mind and make sure that in the daytime between 10 to 6 p.m. you have to use a sunscreen regularly. I hope I have been able to clarify this myth properly. Okay, one more myth about sunscreen is that once I have applied a sunscreen in the morning, I need not apply it throughout the day. Now, please remember the effect of the sunscreen depends not on how many hours it should be used. It depends on the SPF factor. Now, what is this SPF factor? SPF, as the short form suggests, is sun protection factor. This sun protection factor determines the period for which you have to apply the sunscreen, because for example, let me clarify you by giving an example. Like if it is an SPF 15, a cream or a lotion, whatever, containing SPF factor, sun protection factor 15, it basically means that SPF 15 cream or lotion will give you a protection for 15 times more, that is 15 into 15, that is approximately 225 minutes of protection, that is for approximately 3 to 4 hours, right? So an SPF of 30 will give you a protection for 450 minutes, that is approximately 6 hours, and so on. So the SPF factor that you are using, the type of skin that you have, and the type of sunscreen, whether it is a lotion or a gel or a cream, will determine the period for which you have to use the sunscreen, or the frequency for which you have to use the sunscreen. So if you are using an SPF factor 15 and it's summer season, then you have to repeat the sunscreen application every 3 hours. If you're using an SPF 50, then maybe you have to repeat it only twice in a day. That is how the frequency will be determined. Am I clear about this? Okay, let's move ahead with another myth, that is, I am applying sunscreen regularly and yet I am having a tan. Again, here I would like to say that what is the SPF factor that you have chosen, what is your skin type, and how frequently you are applying it, and the most important is how or what is the method by which you are applying this sunscreen. So 1 finger unit is what is usually used, and this you have to use, take a 1 finger unit of sunscreen and apply it over the area. Okay, now if the application is too thin, or it forms only a thin layer over the skin, then it is just waste, because it is not going to protect or create a barrier strong enough to avoid the effect of sunscreen. Let's talk about the next myth, that is, higher the SPF, better the results. again, choose the right type of sunscreen according to your skin type. If you are having a dry skin, if you are having a oily skin, you have to choose the proper base for the sunscreen accordingly. Also, depending on the reason or the area that you stay, the type of weather outside, you have to select the SPF according to the way that I have explained already before. And that doesn't mean that higher SPF is going to give you good protection. It is not necessary. In normal day-to-day use or day-to-day life, where you are not exposed to very harsh sunlight, you're just going to office, coming back, and normal weather outside, an SPF factor of 15 to 30 is enough. And higher exposure or higher sun protection factor is not required. Anything out of need is going to cause some other problem to your skin. So make sure that only optimal or whatever is required is used by you. Okay. Now, one more myth about sunscreens is that people say that if you use a sunscreen, it will be a reason for causing vitamin D deficiency. Because obviously, if you are using a sunscreen, it's going to avoid the sun exposure, and hence it is going to cause vitamin D deficiency because it is found in the source of sunlight. Please mind you that there is no such proof or there is no such research which reveals that sunscreen is a reason for vitamin D deficiency. Even if you feel that way, then what best you can do in this is that you can take enough vitamin D3 in the early morning sun rays. So the best source of vitamin D3 is the morning sun rays before the harsh light starts. So in between maybe 7:30 to 8:30 or 9, this is the best time in obviously in India, when the sun rays are very mild and the harmful radiation is not in that period. So that's the best time when you can go out and have that dash of vitamin 3 on yourself, right? But after 9:30, 10, when the harsh radiation starts and the content of UVB and UVA rays increases after this period, then you should use a proper sunscreen. So if you use a combination of both and make sure you create a balance between it, you will have enough vitamin 3 as well as prevent your skin from UV radiations by using a proper sunscreen. Now let's learn about how to apply a sunscreen. Okay, so I have already said that you have to take one fingertip unit and you have to apply it over a 1 inch of area. So that much is enough for about that much area, and apply it and form a proper layer or form a proper apply it not like a chingus marwadi. Sorry to say that, not to offend anybody, but don't apply a sunscreen miserly. Make sure you have a proper formation of layer over the skin and use it lavishly. Before going out into the sun, at least 20 minutes before that, you have to apply the sunscreen, right? Okay. Choose cream-based sunscreen more than lotions or gels to give you more protection. Okay. Then, if you are going out into harsh sunlight or direct sunlight, use SPF Factor 50 for that. Okay. And very important, there are some types of sunscreen which give you protection from even in the water, and they are called as water resistant sunscreens or sweat resistant sunscreens. Also, your lips are very sensitive and they also require sun protection. So using a proper sun balm or sun protection factor in your lip balm is also going to prevent your lip skin from getting damaged. So I would also suggest in the winters or in the summers, do use a good lip balm with SPF factor. That is also going to keep your lips pink and moist and healthy. Now let's see about the types of sunscreens. Basically, there are two types of sunscreens: physical sunscreen and chemical sunscreen. And according to the name, as the name suggests, a physical sunscreen is going to create a physical barrier or a layer on the skin, and it is going to reflect the UV radiation and thus protect our skin layer. While the chemical sunscreen contains chemicals or factors which when the UV rays enter into the skin, they break the radiation and avoid the natural cells or natural skin cells from harm. That is the way that the chemical sunscreens have an effect. So choose your sunscreen wisely, but no sunscreen is not an option. Mind it. And if you make sunscreen your friend and understand how to use this friend wisely, it is going to keep you radiant, healthy, and it will give you a glow without any wrinkles, without any flaws, and you will have a glowing, beautiful skin. Thank you very much.